Finally, after a long wait, the time is now. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the natural Chris Black of the Saturday Night SlamCasters podcast and independent professional wrestler. Today is a special edition of Chris Black's NJPW report, as I will be covering the greatest tournament in pro wrestling, the G1 Climax. Now, I've been waiting a year plus for this tournament. If you listen to the podcast, you've heard me go on rants after rant about I cannot wait till the G1 Climax start. And it is finally here. Today is Saturday, September 19th, and I'm going to be going over night one, the first night in the G1 Climax tournament. But before we start, let me just remind you, I'd appreciate it if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. As I have promised on the podcast, I will be giving my results and thoughts on each and every night of this tournament. So you definitely want to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so you are alerted every time new episodes are uploaded. Alright, so let's get into the action. The very first match, we get some action by the Young Lions. I think I failed to mention in my last episode of the NJPW report that in place of having the opposite blocks mixed tag matches, because they want to cut down on the amount of people that are at the shows, they decided to highlight the Young Lions instead. And of course, I'm always a big fan of the Young Lions, as I've stated before. So to give them a little bit of shine, I have no problem with that. Matter of fact, it's one of the matches that I'll always look forward to. New Japan always has a good undercard. So the Young Lions, because they are trying to get their place in the business, it's a good way, a good undercard to start this tournament out. So the very first night match, we get Yujiro versus Tsuji. First thing I noticed at the start of this match was Tsuji was looking a little different. And then I realized that he had completely shaved his face, which is kind of an odd look for him. But, alright, I'll allow it. For the match itself, however, again, always enjoy the Young Lions. They have the basics down. Their moves are extremely crisp. I'm extremely entertained by every one of their matches. I want to see them do well. I want to see them win. And I look forward to the day where they can score a pinfall victory over someone who is not a Young Lion. And the Young Lion matches, like I said, they're never boring. I'm always invested in each and every one because I'm waiting for that inevitable win to come. One thing I've noticed about the Young Lions is that they tend to use the Boston Crab a lot, which again is a very basic move, but it's also a very effective move. And to my understanding, the Young Lions aren't supposed to have any flash or flair or anything like that. So again, the Boston Crab, nice little move to get themselves over. Tsuji normally likes to utilize a one-legged Boston Crab, and in fact he tried to put it on Umura during this match. Didn't work. Umura instead locks him in his own Boston Crab, and when Tsuji tries to escape to the ropes, Umura, like a veteran, pulls him back to the middle of the ring. And when Tsuji, because he's just a strong guy, is beginning to fight out again, Umura decides to switch it into a type Walls of Jericho type Boston Crab, and Tsuji has no choice but to tap out. Match ends in 6 minutes 57 seconds. Once again, great way to kick off the night. I'm always a big fan of the Young Lions. Great job to both of them. Alright, very first match in the tournament. You have Yujiro Takahashi taking on a returning Will Ospreay. Ospreay comes out first, looks extremely happy to be back, and who can blame him? It doesn't seem as though Will Ospreay has done any work during this pandemic, during the shutdown. But what he has been doing, bro had put on a lot of muscle mass. He's gotten a little bigger. So, Takahashi, I don't know what to think about dude. Whenever I look at him, I don't want to say he's like a scrub, but I don't know. He just seems like a low-level member of the Bullet Club. Yeah, he's got the pimps and he's got the bunnies. And I mean, he's a pimp and he's got the bunnies and all that and pimp juice and whatnot. But as far as a threat goes, I don't see Yujiro as a huge threat. So, in order to counter the moves by Will Ospreay. He has to slow down Ospreay's momentum during this match and try to keep him grounded. Because, if Will Ospreay takes to the air, it's a done deal. Ospreay does find an opening in the match, takes the offensive, and his moves are always impressive. He's come a long way, in my opinion, since my introduction to Will Ospreay was that highly choreographed match between him and Ricochet. If you know anything about me from the podcast, I don't really like that style of wrestling. Things that look way too choreographed. Things that look real unrealistic. Seems more like a dance than a fight. I'm not a big fan of that style. So that was my first impression of Will Ospreay. Since then, I've watched him grow more as a worker, and he is indeed one of the best in the world. In the end, Will Ospreay does finish off Takahashi with the Stormbreaker. Match ends in 7 minutes 34 seconds. Afterwards, Ospreay takes to the mic and cuts a promo, proclaiming that he's home and says he's the best wrestler today. And eventually says when it comes to this tournament, he plans on being the one. So, a little cocky by Will Ospreay. Seems to have gotten a little bit of an ego as well as a little bit of size during his time off. But again, win by Will Ospreay. Next match, you have Jeff Cobb taking on Taichi. Full disclosure, if you didn't know already, I absolutely love Taichi's entrance. The whole singing and I talk about the showmanship on WWE and how it just seems so very stagey and stuff. Well, Taichi's entrance is kind of like that, but Taichi's such a badass. You know what? I'll let him get away with it. Taichi, in order to take out a guy like Jeff Cobb, he decides to take his time trying to frustrate Cobb during the match, hoping that he's going to make his first mistake. He even tried to attempt one of those handshake spots where you try to kick him, but Jeff Cobb wasn't having that, caught his leg, took him down. Taichi retreats to the outside. He gets hold of the ring bell hammer and attacks Jeff Cobb's leg. And I said before, after watching that episode of NJPW Strong, it seems like Jeff Cobb's leg is going to play an important role during this tournament. But eventually, Jeff Cobb does gain the offensive, having enough of Taichi's heel tactics. But at the end of the day, it's still a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. And we all know Taichi can kick some ass. The match turns more physical as each guy starts landing strikes, with Cobb getting the best out of the exchange. Taichi is up first, but Cobb isn't out. He delivers a standing moonsault, which is impressive, seeing a guy his size move like that. Taichi starts to kick the hell out of Jeff Cobb, and I don't know about you, but Taichi got probably one of the most vicious kicks in the game. I think he's severely underrated. When people want to talk about some of the heavy strikers of the world, Taichi belongs in that conversation. Taichi eventually kicks out of a tour of the islands delivered by Jeff Cobb, and the first surprise of the night for me, Taichi nails the Black Mephisto and pins Jeff Cobb. Match is over in 12 minutes 47 seconds. Again, I'm not saying that Taichi is like a scrub or anything, but I really did not expect him to get a victory over Jeff Cobb. But he did, and I still got a smile on my face. Alright, the very next match. You have Tomohiro Ishii taking on Minoru Suzuki. And right away, just hearing those two names, you know to expect a hard-hitting physical match that only New Japan can deliver. The match starts off with some very hard strikes by both men, trying to get the first one to flinch. Suzuki decides to go after the right arm of Ishii. I guess he figures if he takes out one of Ishii's weapons, they'll give him a little bit of advantage. A little bit more back and forth strikes. Suzuki once again got that real maniacal laugh, and he smiles, and you know bad things about to happen when Suzuki is laughing. Ishii was put into a defensive position during this match. Again, I've probably been following New Japan consistently, probably for only the last year and a half or so. And I've never seen Ishii just rock the way that Suzuki had him during this match. Ishii is the first one to go down, and Suzuki begins to have his way with him. He delivers two devastating PK kicks. Didn't land the third one, as Ishii starts to get his second wind. A little bit more back and forth strikes. They turn into open hand palm strikes to the face. Minoru Suzuki start dishing out some forearms, and man, them forearms look lethal. In the end, Suzuki is able to nail a gotch-style pile driver for the win in 13 minutes. I tell you, Suzuki completely owned Ishii during this match. Had him fighting from underneath the entire time. Minoru Suzuki. I don't expect him to win, but he's going to damage some of the other competitors on his way through this tournament. The next match, we have Jay White taking on Shingo Takaki. And of course, Jay White has Gato with him, so you can expect some shenanigans to happen tonight. The match starts out in true Jay White fashion. He rolls out right away, starts talking trash, trying to goad Takaki to the outside because you know Jay White does bad things on the outside. He gets in, eventually, ties up with Takaki, who gains the advantage. White quickly rolls back out. Takaki follows. Again, it's never a good idea. Gato tries to get involved, and Jay White takes the advantage. He begins ramming Takaki's back into the barricades, throws him back in the ring, and starts choking him out on the ropes. And he starts kind of interrogating Red Shoes, the ref, the entire time. And he finally breaks when Red Shoes counts to 4. But when he goes to go for the pin, Red Shoes refused the count. We all know Red Shoes don't play like that. He'll allow whatever to go on during the match, but if you try to pin your opponent and he feels that pin is not earned, he just ain't gonna count. Again, even the refs are better in New Japan than everywhere else. But anyway, Takaki eventually gains the offensive, but not for long. The match begins to pick up as both competitors try to take the other one out. White tries throwing the ref into Takaki. That doesn't exactly work, but it does help him gain a brief advantage. When Takaki is tired of White's tactics, Takaki unleashes a fury of forearms that puts White down, but he's not out. Gato decides to jump on the apron. White tries to roll up Takaki and puts his feet on the rope, but once again is caught by Red Shoes. Shingo nails a Made in Japan for an extremely close 2 count. I thought this match was over. Shingo picks up Jay White to finish him. Looks like he's about to try to hit the last of the dragon. But White grabs the ref. Gato runs in, but is put down quickly by Takaki. He picks up White again to attempt the last of the dragon. But Jay White's feet catches Red Shoes and takes him out. So no one is there to count the pin. In the meantime, while the ref is out, Jay White lands a low blow and nails a Blade Runner. And as the ref gets back in the ring, Jay White takes the pin and wins the match in 19 minutes and 28 seconds. Told you, shenanigans. But as you all know, Jay White's my pick to win this tournament. He's got to start out strong. Unlike last year, I think last year he lost like his first 3 matches. Now, I think he's going to come out strong in this tournament because this is going to be ultimately the winner. All right, and in the main event, we got Okada versus Ibushi. The rematch from Wrestle Kingdom 14. The undisputed match of the year for 2020. We get that rematch the first night of the tournament. But sadly, this match did not live up to the one at Wrestle Kingdom. Very good match, but did not have the same feeling and emotion during this match. Matter of fact, it seemed as if Okada was not taking Ibushi seriously. There was a long feeling out period during this match. Surprisingly, Red Shoes was the ref again. And I thought that's kind of a no-no in the wrestling business, especially if the ref were to take a bump during the previous match. There's no way that ref normally is going to be ref in the next match unless there's one ref. But it works. Okada is still trying to use the Cobra Clutch, which he calls the money clip, as it was so I don't know, helpful and successful for him during the New Japan Cup. Ibushi gets hit with one tombstone, but Okada is not able to capitalize as both men have put in a lot of effort in this match, and Okada just couldn't go for the pin right away. They start exchanging blows, taunting each other to hit harder. Okada is able to hit another tombstone, a spinning tombstone this time, and then instead of going for the pin, locks in the money clip. Ibushi is able to escape, and it seems like Okada is going to pick Ibushi up and hit him with his own version of a Kamigoye, but Ibushi is able to slip out, deliver a sit out power bomb, nails a running knee, grabs Okada's hands, delivers a devastating Kamigoye, and actually gets the pin. Ibushi wins. He pins Okada. 21 minutes 35 seconds. Again, good match, but compared to the one they had at Wrestle Kingdom, I'm still going to go with the match at Wrestle Kingdom. Ibushi is still one of my favorites. Okada, another one of my favorites. One had to win, one had to lose. I was hoping maybe this would go into a time limit draw. They were about 9 minutes shy of a time limit draw. So Ibushi gets the win. So as far as points go, after the first night, we have Will Ospreay, Taichi, Suzuki, Jay White, and Ibushi each leaving this night with 2 points. Okada, Shingo Takaki, Tomohiro Ishii, Yujiro Takahashi, and Jeff Cobb all walk away with the big old goose egg for now. Better luck on night 3. So that's it for today. That's it for night 1. All my links to my social media is in the description, as well as all the links to how you can get a hold of the SlamCasters podcast. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to the podcast, and hell, even subscribe to our YouTube channel. While you're at it, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, spread the word, share it amongst all your friends. It'd be much appreciated. I'm going to continue doing all these reviews for you. Like I said, this is the very first night. I will be covering each and every night of the G1 Climax tournament. So be sure to tune in tomorrow night for night 2 review. And with that, I'm up out of here, y'all. Come get slammed.